I'm glad you brought up that idea of training you in what you could hear, because you'd mentioned, is it pronounced tomates?
Yes.
And he had very succinctly said my voice included, pardon me, the voice does not produce what the ear does not hear.
Well, now that's interesting, because I've lost a great deal of my hearing. I don't think I yet speak like a deaf person.
I don't think you speak like a deaf person.
So what's that? How does that square with what he says?
Perhaps part of that is an effect of memory.
I think so. And habit. This is how I speak, this is how I've always spoken, and the fact that I can't hear, and I hear myself speak, and I hear myself not speaking, I think, like a deaf person.
I'd agree. This may be going off at too much of a tangent, but an aspect of that I found interesting was that, as I understand it, our muscles, the way that our muscles can feel force, as in the sensory aspect of the muscles themselves, is linked to how we move in exactly the same way, that sensation and movement are part of a feedback loop. So it made me wonder, in the same way that Casals was improving your ability to hear, whether the movement aspect of Alexander technique is improving people's sensitivity in their muscles to feel force.
Well, I think it would have to. When I first had my lessons, my teacher talked about lengthening and widening in the very first lessons, and she said, and you'll become more aware. Now, in those days, awareness wasn't spelt with a capital A, and I thought, I wonder what she means, But then this is one of the very special moments. When I was working with Casals, he did a tremendous lot of stretching with his fingers, stretch and jump, leap about all over the place. And it looked crazy, and it was safe. I thought, well, that's blow me down. I don't understand that, because we were taught always to be safe. So we moved about en bloc, Then
right.
You took a deep breath and you moved.
Yeah.
But with him, it was all kangaroo capers, I called them, leaping about all over the place. And then I taught Don Burton, who was our anatomy teacher, to play the cello. And he was very much a beginner, and he was not actually able to wiggle his fingers easily. Well, that's actually not relevant to this particular story. I was giving him cello lessons, and I said, you just put your fourth finger down on that note, because your fourth finger is right on top of the note, so just let it drop. I said, actually, when I play that note, I prefer to stretch with my second finger and even a little jump, because it seems more sensitive and more accurate. How silly does that seem? I sort of, giggled a little at the strangeness. He said, oh, well, I understand that, because a muscle with a degree of stretch on it is sending more information to the brain.
Ah.
So the more you get lengthening and widening, the more your brain is receiving information, the more your sensitivity is growing.
Very, very, there is a lot in that, isn't there?
Well, it's absolutely. Yeah. That's what Jean Day was saying to me. You'll become more aware, but not realizing that, well, neither of us was thinking simple lengthening and widening is actually going to put a bit more stretch or reduce contraction, because that's we want things to lengthen. And with the lengthening, there's more sensitivity, more information to the brain.